So I'm hearing a key, one thing, give them that outlet. So even if it's, now what if a child just has a hard time writing? Like I know my son, he gets very frustrated if I try to, I mean, he can't stand writing his letters, much less writing for like enjoyment. What are some other ideas that could be outlets for people to have that release?
Games, again, a trust relationship with someone that has the answers. It's always good to have friends your age, but it's always better to have someone who's been there and can direct you in the right way. Somebody your age might tell you, oh no, don't talk to your parents about it, but an adult that you trust, a minister, a close family friend that shares your morals and your beliefs. You don't want to send a child mixed messages, but someone that you trust that is willing to be patient enough to allow the child to communicate on their own way. Sometimes it may be that they may not like to write, but they might like to color or play video games. And there's conversations that go on and things like that when you're just available to listen.
That's so true. I find that like with my son versus my daughter, my daughter, she's like, let's go to Starbucks and talk for 500 hours. And my son is like, you wanna go shoot basketball, Mom? But in the process of us playing basketball, all of a sudden I'm talking to him about something that I didn't think I would talk to him about, you know, and he's like totally relaxed talking about it. So I totally get that. And I think especially as a female relating to males too, or male relating to females, it's hard to get what the opposite sex, even if it's your child, especially if it's your child, where they're coming from, because you have your pink hearing aids on, and they have their blue hearing aids on, and that's how we filter our information. So knowing that, like guys, they tend to, I mean, this is a generalization, but for the most part, it's somewhat true. They like to do stuff together and just being, you know, tell me, do you have any, thoughts on that?
I believe that, I found that with my situation, all of my sons were not the same. I had the vocal, verbal sons and the very laid back, macho, grunt, if you're hungry kind of guys. And so I had the ones who wanted to shop, and I had the ones that was like, shopping, I have a shirt already, a shirt, not a closet full of shirts. And so what I found is you treat little people like big people. You take them for who they are, and with that, you take the time to find out what's important to them. And when they notice that you're willing to listen to what's important to them, they'll give you the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, wow. So not only do we need to be aware of what our children are dealing with emotionally, giving them an outlet to deal with it, but really letting that serve as a foundation builder, because what I'm hearing you say is that's going to be the thing, the foundation, the relationship building that's going to allow all these other doors to open for learning. It's so great. I'm so excited to talk to you more about this. When we come back, we're going to be getting into this a little bit more. And you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
You've already met with the loan officer, so you know where you are and you know what you can afford. You're ready for the next step, and that's getting with a realtor. You want to find out what areas are great for you, what fits your lifestyle, and what schools and amenities you're truly looking for. So get with that realtor and talk with them about what is important to you and important to the lifestyle that you and your family live. So get with a professional and get with a realtor just as soon as possible.
Welcome back to The Single Parent, brought to you by Christ Our Shepherd Ministries. My name is Jennifer Dow, and I'm here with Katina Coward, and we are talking about learning and things that block a child's learning, specifically in the framework when a parent stepped out of the picture and you have a single parent situation, and the emotional effects that causes and how that really impacts learning. And one of the things I wanted to just clarify, I had a question about you. You told us that you adopted 6 children. Now, what exactly was that situation? Did you legally adopt all of them, or did you just kind of like put them under your wing, or how did that happen?
Glad you asked. The long and the short of it is through our ministry, I ended up helping some parents. And during the process of helping some of the parents, other parents passed on, and children began to live with me. And so it was I never had to do it legally, but I definitely had to do it really. And so the children came to stay with me. They became mine and I became theirs, and we love each other. But yeah, I'm a single parent definitely by choice, for a lot of choices. But I feel that a lot of times when you meet people, it's easy to not be there. But I'm always thankful for people who are willing to become selfless and step in and take on someone else.
Yeah, so did that, how did that affect, like, how did you deal with stereotypes? Or would you say that you dealt with the stereotypes of a single parent in the same way that other single parents do? Or how do people respond to you? And do you still consider yourself a single parent through and through? Or how do you view?
Well, they're definitely my children. Trust me on that. And so as a result of that, I feel sometimes that I don't get treated as some single parents, in that some people are like, well, why would you purposely choose that life?
It's this honorable thing.
Yes, and they see it more dishonorably, which is hilarious when you think about how many single parents are in the world. But to me, I think it's more of a stereotype against me as opposed to for me. There are parents who will say, well, you should never willingly put a child in a single parent situation. Well, they needed someone to love them. I was there. I'm happy to be there. And so I'm happy to be a single parent. And, you know, and for the naysayers, they'll always be there. But I have 6 successful children that proves that we made the right choice.
Well, praise God for that.
Amen.
Now, I think that is a great entry into just talking a little bit more about the role of mentoring and the role, you had already mentioned a little bit about having other people involved in your child's life. How do you go about creating that support network, especially if you don't have one? You don't have supportive family, you're a single parent. I mean, you've already told us it's important, so what would you suggest to our viewers?
My strongest suggestion is to get into organizations, be it spiritual or non-spiritual organizations, where you can begin to develop an avenue to get to know adults, because you never want to put your child in a situation where you could be putting them in harm's way. You want a situation where background is evident. And where you can have checks and balances. For example, if you were in a church and you talk to your leader, your pastor, or maybe one of the ministers concerning the fact that you befriended another adult, they may be able to say, well, not so much to tell you the things that the person may be suffering or struggling with, but they may tell you that may not be a good idea. Every pedophile does not have a background check. And so you want to be careful. But on the other hand, you can, as you put yourself in these different types of organizations, you're building relationships for yourself as well as for your child. And what I've learned in my own personal life is that you never know everything, and you definitely need help from other people. So when you open yourself up and you put yourself in these different types of organizations and circles, it helps a lot for you to be able to find that perfect adult that matches both your desire to befriend someone and your child's desire to need someone else.
Okay, now what's the balance of that? Because I've heard different stories about people just like falling in love with their child's mentor and all this stuff. Like, I know it's weird to bring up, but I think it's something important to talk about. I mean, if you want somebody to focus on mentoring your child, how do you as a parent guard yourself in that situation to put the proper boundaries up to make sure that you can really facilitate that being your child's mentor without getting too involved? Does that make, I mean, do you think that's a good question?
I think it's a very good question. And